Distinguished guests, colleagues, parents, friends, students. It is, as always, a great honour to represent the University of South Wales at today's celebration of student achievement. It's especially delightful to be able to come once again and attend in person after 2 years of being a virtual presence as a recorded message. And I'd like to thank the Dyslexia Association of Singapore Academy for inviting me, for making me feel so welcome, and for providing the opportunity for us to work together in person over the last couple of days. Actually, now I'm here, it doesn't feel so long ago that I was last here in person in 2019. Time does fly. So, 11 years ago, DAS began discussions with what was then the University of Wales Newport around a proposal to deliver a Masters in Special Educational Needs in Singapore. Since then, we have had much pleasure in working with students and colleagues at DAS. At graduation, it is customary to pause and reflect on our journeys to this point. These can be collective journeys, such as the partnership between USW and DAS, or your collective endeavours as cohorts of students moving through a programme of study together, sharing successes and challenges. They are also, of course, individual journeys or narratives that start with a decision to undertake further study, in this case, professional study at level 7, and that culminate in the completion of a qualification. So what do we get from reflecting upon the journey undertaken? There is always a sense of satisfaction from passing and completing a course of study. Life cannot be all flux and process. We also need to pause to register that some things have been done, completed, ticked off, concluded. This is that moment of calm when we can enjoy that feeling. It's also worth pausing to reflect on what we have learned on the course, not the content in all its entirety and fine detail, but those pivotal key insights that we have developed along the way. For each of us, especially at this higher level of study, there will have been some new foundational ideas that we have studied that have changed the way we think about education or special educational needs or dyslexia, and which have moved our understanding onto another level of sophistication. Once we have encountered these ideas, turned them around in our heads, got to grips with them, we emerge onto a higher plane of thinking. Luckily, there is no turning back from this. These are the sunny uplands of professional thinking, and we should congratulate ourselves for arriving here. There's a further reason for reflection. This is linked closely to the vocational aspect of our subject. University of South Wales prides itself on the applied nature of its courses at undergraduate and postgraduate level. Its focus is on creating highly skilled professionals in many different spheres and then supporting them with enriching postgraduate opportunities once they are established in their career. As educators working with young people, our postgraduate study is a sign of our vocational commitment, a commitment to creating bright and fulfilling futures for young people. For educators, level 7 professional study is more than about self-development or self-enrichment. It is also about upskilling ourselves to better serve the needs of others, at whatever stage they are at in their learning career, from children in primary schools to students in higher education. We have all taken the time and trouble to develop ourselves in the service of others, and to reflect on this should provide us with a collective sense of pride. It is a virtuous circle for us to continue our learning to help others continue theirs. I'm here in part to thank you all for contributing to that virtuous circle. Finally, I would like to reflect on the fact that as I left the UK at the end of last week, in literally extraordinary times, the changeover from one Prime Minister to another in the very same week as the changeover from one head of state to another is, I think, unprecedented in UK history. Of course, momentous changes like these happen around the world on a weekly basis, but it is the nature of things that we become absorbed by the ones that are closest to home. We feel ourselves caught up in a rapid change of events, maybe powerless, being swept along. And yet, it is those abilities to put things into a proper perspective, to engage critically with facts, ideas, and events, to make profound connections and comparisons, those abilities that help societies cope with times of rapid change. And these are precisely the skills and abilities that we hone in Level 7 study, that you have so successfully developed, that we are celebrating today. So, I offer a final congratulations to all of you and a sincere wish that you take all the enjoyment from today that is possible. Thank you.